I want to talk to you a little bit about a funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
It's Sondheim himself who said that indeed the songs were just respites between the very, 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 very funny book that Bert Shevlov and Larry Gelbart wrote.
What are the funniest moments in the book for you?
Well, some of it has to do with Zero Mostel, I have to admit, and that is when Hysterium is so Marcus Licus is so scared about the Roman soldier coming that he has trouble saying who seeks the house of Marcus Licus, and and Mostel steps in. This is so wonderful in the movie. You actually see his lips actually make the words form when he does say who seeks the house of Marcus Licus. He does it with such impeccable elocution that it's great fun. But there's also great fun, even though this joke may be a little politically incorrect at the moment in time, when indeed Domina comes back and she finds out all these Romans are in her house. And at first she's upset about it because, after all, who are these people? But then Pseudolus mentions that indeed these are Roman soldiers, and because she was the daughter of a Roman soldier, that she would want them there. So, so she talks about, yes, I entertained so many soldiers, and because Marcus Licus thinks that he's in a brothel, he's surprised that this old woman entertained so many soldiers. And she said, oh, Hysterium was a great help too. And of course, Hysterium is a little aghast, thinking that he was pressed into service to entertain soldiers on the level of a brothel. So that's great fun too. Lines like "You're going to be a eunuch all your life" is certainly funny because, of course, yes, indeed, if you're a eunuch, you're going to be a eunuch all your life. So there's great fun there too. And son, if you're as happy as your mother and I, my heart bleeds for you, which is very funny too. There are so many wonderful lines. It's the funniest book of all time. Little Me is a close second, but Funny Thing is the funniest book of all time. And in fact, the movie makes a mistake there, and the revival made a mistake there too, because they assimilated this joke where he's looking at a bottle of wine and says, was one a good year? And, that's something that really wasn't done in Roman times. So that's an anachronism. And that came from the movie, and the Nathan Lane revival in '96 used it. And that's too bad, because it really shouldn't happen that way. I think by that time, both book writers were dead. Certainly Bert Shevlov was. He died many years early. I don't know if Larry Gelbart was, but but I do think it's a cheap line, and I'm sorry that it came in there. But aside from that, they really worked very hard not to be anachronistic.
What kind of person makes a great pseudolus?
I think you really have to have size. That really, maybe because Zero started it, maybe that's the reason why. But if you don't have size, you have to be bigger than life in personality. And it's very interesting that in all three productions that have been on Broadway, that all three people who played Pseudolus have won Tony Awards. I mean, that's not something you can really talk about with very many shows. Not even Gypsy can claim that, because, of course, Merman lost when she was doing it. So the fact that Zero Mostel, Phil Silvers in '72, and then Nathan Lane in '96 all got Tony Awards really tells you something about what a great role it is. So while I'd like to see somebody who has heft and an outsized personality, the fact remains that the role is so wonderful, you can probably get any talented person in there of any size. And of course, Whoopi Goldberg came in to do it for a while. And they didn't make anything of the fact that she was a woman. You didn't get any impression that she was a woman, because, of course, that would be a problem in the scene when he goes to the house of Marcus Licus, as it's called, and that would be a very different reading on it with a woman there. So, but there was, the sexuality was removed. It's such a great part. I mean, I have seen it done so well in even high schools. There's always somebody, and it would have been very interesting if James Corden had done it. He was scheduled to do it, but then he got the TV gig, and of course there was more money there, so he took it.
Peter Felicia's Broadway appears in every issue of the Broadway Maven's Weekly Blast.